Very nice.
Welcome back to Inside the Music with your host, Andy Schwartman, and our very special guest, Mr. Tony Kiefer. Take it away, Andy.
Everybody, welcome back to part two. This is of Andy Schwartman's Inside the Music. Here we go.
Let's do this. We talked about the first two Aerosmith records, and now we're moving on to my personal favorite. Released April 8th, 1975, Toys in the Attic peaked at number 11 on the album charts and eventually went on to sell 8 million copies in the United States.
Dang.
This was a record that one of those 8 million copies was in my house because my sister
I know that's right.
I was like 8 years old spending my allowance on that one. Tony, take it away. Tell us a little bit about Toys in the Attic.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going to say that Rocks was Aerosmith's best record. To me, I think Toys in the Attic is their best. At the time, this band was firing on all cylinders. It opens up the killer Toys in the Attic. To this day, it's still a killer track when you hear it live. You know, you had two of the biggest, arguably two of Aerosmith's biggest singles ever come from this record, which is obviously Walk This Way and Sweet Emotion. But to me, it's the B-sides on this stuff, or the, I'm not going to call it filler, the radio track, not the radio tracks, but, you know, the lesser-known played songs really make this record stand out for me, like Adam's Apple, Uncle Salty, Round and Round, which is a huge Brad Whitford influence.
Yeah.
To me, this record is pristine and perfect. I love this record.
Yeah.
So do I.
Great. Deep on that record. All killer, no filler.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
Some of the deep tracks.
Yeah.
Tracks are the best, and I saw these guys in Vegas they were doing a residency, and it was so
I
cool.
saw that. I saw a little footage of that on YouTube, actually.
On the album cover, they had all these things in the attic, like the teddy bear and the dolls, all the stuff. They had big inflatables they dropped in the ceiling. It was literally the toys from the attic were just coming out of the sky in the theater. It was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. They had the album cover come to life. It was
nice.
That is awesome.
That rules.
Did either one of you bring any kind of unique special artifacts you wanted to show off today? Any like Aerosmith collector's items or anything?
Actually, hang on just a minute. You may
Go get it, Andy.
hang on just a second. It's in here, so it's not that far
While
away.
Andy's getting his, I'll show off what I brought, and I should have showed it last time. My copy of Get Your Wings. I don't know if you can see it here or not, but that silver Sharpie is the autograph of Brad Whitford.
Beautiful.
It's one of my prized possessions right here.
That is awesome. Andy,
So, in honor of Aerosmith's 50th anniversary, I know I'm jumping the gun here in their timeline, but in honor of their 50th anniversary, you know how they were on the cover of People magazine for a while there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't feeling too well this one time, and I asked my mother to when she was out to see if she could pick me up a copy, and I gave her money for it. Right here, brothers. Right here.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
And I was like, heck yeah. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I may have came into their catalog by means of Get a Grip, but you know what? That doesn't freaking matter. I love their music.
You got to get in there somewhere. You know, I started collecting this band since I was like 13 years old. I would go and get the Hit Paraders, the Metal Edge magazine, Circus magazine. I would get the posters, the singles. I've been collecting this band for a long time, and I actually went through my old concert shirts not too long ago, and I have a tub just dedicated to Aerosmith shirts.
Nice.
Like we talked about in part one, this is my band, and it's just insane the things that I've collected and continue to collect of this band. And someday I have to go through the archives and break it all out. But I miss those days. You know, you get that Hit Parader and you see Steven on the cover, and you're like, I have to have it, just like you see that People magazine.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
And I remember I have some cousins that are originally from Massachusetts, and one of them lives in Warren County, probably out in one of them lives in Mainville, which is in Warren County. And she and I were talking, and she said, "You listen to all this rock and roll, and you don't know who Aerosmith is?" And I said, "Sorry." And she just started giving me a bunch of crap, Hey, I heard that, and just kind of giving me crap, just like Woody and Senior Reek do, and all the and Metal Jason.
Yeah.
And I just remember I was like, "Oops." And so the next thing I know, I just started listening to them like really heavily, and I just remember thinking, "Okay, I'm an idiot."
That was the great thing, though. That was the great thing, because like you, I got into him later. I got into him on the Pump It record. But at that
Nice.
time, you could go to Tape World or Sam Goody and get the cassettes of the records we're talking about right now for like $4.99, $5.99. You could get Toys in the Attic and get your wings. And that's what I did as a kid. I would get $5 a week for my allowance. I would go to the mall and I would just get a cassette, and I'd bring it home and I would just digest it. And these albums have just become a big part of my life, and that's why I love talking about them. And you can see the progression from the Aerosmith record to Get Your Wings to Toys in the Attic to records that we'll get into later. This band just kept getting better and better during this time.
And
I just agree with that, Tony, because I know that especially with their early records, this was a band that after I got into Toys in the Attic, like, I'm gonna go see what else they've got. You could grab pretty much anything out of those first half a dozen or so, and there was the quality was all great. I think I went from Toys in the Attic to Rocks and just thought like, oh my God. And you just keep going, and like, they're all great,
Yeah.
Andy, why don't we wrap up part 2 and we'll try to improvise a part 3 on this band. That shouldn't be too hard for us.
No, because there's a lot to unpack. Thank you, everybody, for watching part 2. Here comes part 3.
Thanks again, Tony. We appreciate you.
Oh, hush.
Who's chiming in the background there?
My mother.
Hi, Mom.
I don't know if she heard you, but I'll
Okay.
tell her. Don't worry. I got you, dude. I got you.
That's a good ending for part 2 there.
Exactly right.
Okay.